Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I want to do a page in this little art journal that I just started. So I'm really thinking that this is just about my favorite size to work on. It's a little bit bigger than the postcards and jumbo playing cards that I've been doing, smaller than my large journal that I write in. And I just absolutely loved doing this page. Even though it didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to, it still turned out pretty cool. And I'm kind of happy with it. So I'm in love with this journal because I can do my pieces this way, or I can do them this way, depending on what background piece I find. And I think I'm going to go to the Autumn Stories Collage Ephemera book. This is for art journaling. I love these books. I don't know, I mean, I said it a million times and I can't say it enough times. I'm going to look for a background. I don't want a whole page background because I like to keep these for my bigger journals. Ooh, I love this. Okay, so I'm going to go with this. So I'm just going to cut this out. And that kind of determines that my page is going to be this way again. And I'm going to tear my edge. So I've got a really rough edge here. And I tore it up so that I have this white at the edge of my paper. I'm going to go all the way around this time. I'm going to just try something new. And then I've got this and I'm going to use that for this. And then I'm just going to work around it. So I'm going to put this in my book. I'm just trying something new. There. So there's no straight edges, and I kind of like that. Now I want to blend this out to the edge. And I'm not going to work on this background or do anything to it until I have a coat of gesso on this. So I glued it down paper to paper. I can feel a little piece of glue underneath here. So I'm going to try to work that little bump out. There. And I'm going to put a coat of gesso on this. For this one, I'm going to use just my clear gesso. So now I've got this on here and I've got the gesso on it and I've got it dry. So I can take... I'm going to take some of my watered down paint that I use for splatter on here, just a dribble, just a little puddle. I'm going to grab my black acrylic paint. I use a lot of black, so I buy the big bottle. I'm going to take my nice big brush here. I'm going to dip it in. And just with what's on my brush, I'm going to start mixing it into the white. And it should give me almost this color that's in here. A a little bit of paint on my sponge and then do this. So I've cut out this little fairy boy. So now I'm trying to decide whether I want to leave his wings on or off. But I'm going to put his boots to the bottom of the page. He's going to come down past the background. His wings are going to come off on this side. He's going to be looking up into this tree at this. Let me see where he's going to sit. He's going to sit, I think he's going to sit here like this little bird. Because I want him to be looking at the little boy too. So I'm going to put them on. So I'm just going to glue them on. I think I'm going to just to make sure I get this in the right spot. I think I'm going to go to my repositionable, the re-stick glue stick for this. It doesn't dry as fast. That other one dries pretty fast. And this allows me to move my bits around a little bit. And because I've got some cuts in here that I kind of have to put back together again, so I've cut a little bit of this tie on his hat, and his boots need to be glued in the right place because they've been nipped as well in the trimming. And I explained in the last video why I do that. It just makes it easier. So I cut this. Now it has to go back to that to continue the picture again. And the reason I cut it is to get that little bit of white out from behind it. And the same with the boots. I cut up and around this boot, but the boots are attached together, so I want them to be together. So I've got those. I may as well do this while I've got it out. Just look at the colors. I'm going to put that across there. I'm going to do a little border around. So I've got my border on. All these little squiggly lines and dots and dashes that I do, I just try to put different things around. There's no rhyme or reason to why I use the borders that I do. I just choose to do them because I think they look cute. And I'm going to use my Sharpie pen because it's got a thin line, and I'm going to do just a sketchy line. I'm going to put the date and my initials on here because I always do. So the last thing I'm going to do, everything that's on here is permanent ink. And the last thing that I want to do on here is a little more sponging. I'm going to just used the same sponge as before. I'm just going to rip this off. Clean my fingers off because I don't want gray paint all over them. And I've got this, it's white metallic, but it's not very white. It's a really, really translucent paint. So I'm going to put a little on here. And then I'm just going to start playing with it. Like you can't see it very much at all. I'm just going to wipe it with my finger off the tips of the wings. So it's on there quite heavy because it's so translucent that you can't hardly see it. So I'm going to cover that up. I'm just going to put a little tiny bit over the bird. And I'm going to throw this over the words. And then I'm going to splatter like crazy on here. And this is what it looks like close up. I think the white splatter on something like this brings a little bit of light into it. And I'm really loving the way that that metallic white just, it kind of just bubbles all around the edge. It almost gives this a look like I've put it on a metal background, which I think is really cool. It looks like a metal sign, except that the edges are curling up. And they won't when I get this closed and put a weight on it for a while. The paper kind of goes back to where you want it to be. So if you enjoyed this one, please give the video a thumbs up. Comment down below. Let me know what you think of just using a background in the center and then working your way around from it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I would absolutely love if you would do that before you left and come back and see what I'm up to next. I think that would be so amazing. So thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye for now. I'll see you in the next one.